what it is.
What's up? We got your person in the cut. I'm trying to be censored now. I'm trying to be censored now.
You're trying to be censored.
You
can't be saying the N-word around our new co-host.
Around our new co-host. She cannot be hearing that. Because God knows she will be saying it very soon.
Yes.
Considering the people she's around, you know.
Hey man, I switched up my circle. She's safe. She's safe.
I mean, you know, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have a little bit of fun. We'll teach her a couple of things here and there. Obviously, she can't say it at school or to other adults. It's just let's keep it here, please. Let's keep it within the family because it's gonna look like Ngatisi, you know. We are left.
How are you?
I'm alright. I actually just came back from I decided to do like a little day trip around the coast. Mm-hmm. So I went to Kalk Bay, Simonstown.
Nice.
Went around to Scarborough, I think Komeki.
She said I got fuel.
Let me tell you something. I was like, you know what, let me just put this damn petrol in. Because I was just like, guys, it's 13. And get
all the fuel.
Yeah, Oaks. Like,
but you needed that.
I needed it. I was like, you know what? I've just been holed up in here. I've been frustrated from not, from being very behind on my deadline. And just kind of like working around load shedding has just been so frustrating.
The worst.
At least this weekend we have a little bit of a break. We only have load shedding in the mornings and then the rest of the day is fine. But I think, you know, either way, I'm just like, I don't just want to sit here and work the whole fucking day. Like, that's so boring. So yeah, that's me. How you doing?
I'm alright. Tired. That's my new brand. Tired TM. Breastfed out. Like, yo, breastfeeding is not a joke. Like, you feel yourself, it's almost like you've been hung on the washing line. I am thirsty from the inside. No wonder people say like hydrate. But at the same time, the more you hydrate, the more milk you produce. And like, remember, I was producing, at some point I was producing way too much milk.
Yeah.
My breast, oh my word. So,
but you know, Miss Mamas will drink it.
She's growing, like she's doubled her birth weight. I don't even want to share how I know that she's doubled her birth weight because we already had an incident that had us rushing to the ER. But it was a false alarm.
That's the case. You know, with new parents, that's the case. I feel like you'll definitely be seeing the ER here and there. Obviously, like God forbid, we don't want it to happen all the time.
For a serious issue, but so that's how I know that the silver lining was that she doubled her birth weight. We were really excited about that. As soon as we saw that.
No, she's a chankers. Oh my God, she's looking so big. Oh, I can't wait to hold her. My goodness.
Such a cutie. So yeah, I'm feeling a lot better, getting used to things. I mean, it's like as we're filming, it's been 6 weeks. So we're getting there. We're adjusting.
No, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah. I mean, this is part 2 of the New Kid on the Block episode. We out here. You know, we're just basically talking about catching up in essence and just telling you guys all about what's been happening as of late and you know, since we've been on maternity leave. And I think in the last episode or the last part we had spoken about I think we had ended it off around, you know, how people like, I don't know, like how you
could never be me.
It could never, the whole could never be me. Panasonic as a pandemic on its own could never be. My friend, shut up. It isn't you. My thing is, it isn't you.
It isn't you. It really isn't you, dog. And like you have the power currently or with certain situations to ensure that it's not going to be you. So we don't need to make it about that right now.
We don't need to make it. It's not about you. It's okay. Like, and really that is the case. I don't know who said it, but they were like, I think it was Humulemo. I think she was saying that, like, I think as people, it's difficult for us to be present without projecting.
Yes.
You know, to be here in the now without making things about us. And And I mean, yeah, it's just been the strangest thing.
I don't know if English is kicking me, but I feel like we need to find if the term relate cannot operate under the confines of being able to acknowledge a situation and acknowledge how it affects someone, but not make it about yourself or how the situation would affect you.
Yeah.
If the word relates cannot exist under such a definition, then I need another word, because I feel like we should be able to relate to each other and be empathetic without necessarily feeling like I must put my feet in your shoes and imagine myself in that situation for me to understand that you. Oh, okay, like this is your new chapter or whatever. Like even the fact that we think that by virtue of relating or being empathetic, we're always understanding of situations that are difficult for someone else.
Yeah.
Because then we hear of a situation that we think would be difficult for us and automatically assume that it's difficult for the other too.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a good thing to do. Like, that's not helpful.
It isn't.
Sometimes.
It really,
or in the situations
isn't.
that we're speaking about right now, you know?
Like,
but anyway.
It really genuinely isn't. But yeah, like, I mean, you were talking about how you have
new kid.
You had kind of you basically modified your space.
I had to change my entire space. I had to change my space.
And who you hang around and where you go, and such and such.
I didn't hang around anyone. Like, it was wild.
Actually, you did.
Okay, but I was out and about. I think I stopped.
The first few months you were a party animal.
I stopped going out, weirdly enough, at like 7 months. But also, we don't like go out that much.
Yeah.
7 months is like, but I wasn't showing.
You weren't showing. Even at your baby shower.
Yeah,
like people were like, I think someone asked me like, is she adopting? I was like, what? I was like, I mean, maybe. But I was like, there's a
yeah, guys, be progressive. Just because someone's having a baby shower doesn't mean they're pregnant. Like, I appreciate that person. That's really that's on the money.
I was like, okay, that's some progressive thinking. I was like, oh, okay, they're like young people are out here, like adopting. I like that. I said, you know what? Actually, you are thinking in the right direction.
Yes.
But yeah, so, you were tiny for a while.
I was very tiny I think I started like showing. My 8 months after 7 months.
8 months,
and we found out we were pregnant literally a day after a Sunday roast. I think in
September.
September.
Yeah, it was September. Yeah.
I was at Sunday roast and I was like, this Johnny Walker has an aftertaste. And I was just annoyed by everything and everyone. I was just not getting into the zone, man. And you know, you tell yourself so many things. I'm like, nah, man, the last 2 Sunday roasts, I wasn't having fun.
Yeah.
Johnny Walker, I don't like Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker is for imicimbi. It's just not flowing. I'm not enjoying the alcohol.
Gandhi Miss Mamas is telling you.
Gandhi Miss Mamas is there like, yeah, puya, mama. Like, I was busy, like, hey, my child is drinking tequila. She was cheer. But I found out, I was really anxious about that.
Yeah.
But the doctor was like, nah, man. Like, a lot of people find out they're pregnant at like 3 months and the babies are born fine. Like, I found out at 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And then obviously confirmed at 6 weeks. Like, hearing the heartbeat was
the
most beautiful thing in the world.
When you sent that to me, I was finished. I
fell in love. Like, before that, the first 2 weeks, I was like, oh shit. Like, every time I looked at London, we were like, oh shit. But not like, oh shit in an anxious way. It was like, we're so excited, but like, oh my gosh, this is happening. Like, this is happening.
This is our reality.
Like, this is the rest of our life.
Yeah.
And we have to give this our best. You know? And then it was so funny because when we went for the 6-week confirmation, it was like, obviously Londo was taking the videos.
Yeah.
And you literally just see him like taking a video of my toe and like he really botched that video because he was literally crying and so excited.
You could hear in his voice.
So
I think
beautiful.
the one video, or it was a photo, but it was a live. You could hear his voice. I was just like, I can't. I was like, y'all are gonna finish me with these emotions, child.
Hey man, and then so you get that excitement, like that initial excitement. For some reason, there was like no fear from the jump, which I found very scary because I'm a very anxious person.
Yeah.
But I wasn't anxious about like becoming a mother.
Yeah. I love that.
And then we literally went to the 13-week check. That's when the anxiety sets in because that's the one where you go to a fetal specialist. And they look at the baby. And the doctor checked everything, checks the heart, checks the head, doesn't say anything, checks the body, doesn't say much, and then afterwards he's like goes back to the head and the brain, and he's like, okay, I'm not seeing something here in the brain, and I need you to come back at 20 weeks so that we can see if this thing has developed.
That time it's 13
if it
weeks.
Hasn't, if it hasn't, you like some people tend to terminate. I might mispronounce the thing. It's the corpus callosum or something like that. Like, I hate that thing so much that I don't even want to learn the proper pronunciation if I'm mispronouncing it. But basically something in the head that connects the left and the right hand side, if I recall correctly. And some people don't have one, and they have behavioral issues or ADHD. Other people who don't have one have severe limitations when it comes to their mental capacities, right? But this is when I started becoming really anxious, and it wasn't because we feared having a child with any challenges. It was because doctors are so ableist. Like, they position everything like it is the worst thing that could ever happen in your life.
They have to go. They go straight to like worst case scenario.
And the way they speak to you is so frightening because when I went back for the 20-week one, he then found the what he wasn't finding in the brain. It was well developed. It was all good. I happy with that. Next thing, we're finding bowing. All the long bones are short. And I'm like, me and Rhonda are short. Like, we're tiny. Obviously, this baby's gonna be tiny. But the doctor's like, okay, this is a concern. Because they can't tell the gestational age if the long bones are short. So it's very difficult to track the baby's development. So stress, and then there's bowing of the femur. And then they're like, but that's when I realized, it's if you go to those appointments alone, because I had to go alone to the 20 week one, you will literally walk out of there having lost your mind because they're just throwing medical terms at you. Next thing, one of the specialists was like offering to do, I can hear my child crying. One of the specialists was offering to do like the test, the test where they actually test the fluid in the tummy. And I was like, I don't want to make that decision on my own. Like, can I get time to go home and decide? Exactly. And we ended up not doing that test because it's not, or the one they wanted to run wasn't 100%.
Was it the one that the doctor was using as part of his research?
No. It was like, yes. This appointment is the one part of the research with the professor and all of these people. But the test basically wasn't going to definitely tell us, okay, this is what your baby has. It was going to say, these are the chances that your baby could have A, B, C, and D. Which is, I wasn't happy with the idea of like sitting with so much anxiety and fear and like next thing projecting all of this into the journey, the rest of my journey. I would much rather know for sure. Like, I don't know, other people are different, but that anxiety of like doctors speaking to us in that way was persistent throughout the pregnancy. Even with the birth, we literally had to have an emergency C-section because the doctor was like, oh yeah, with the bowing of the femur and the fact that the long bones are short, this means that your child could have multiple disabilities. They could even have OI, which is brittle bones. So we don't want to risk a vaginal birth, and their skull is too soft. My grandma's there, like, baby skulls are always soft.
They're always soft, yeah.
So she was really upset because the way the doctor was speaking was not nice at all.
For me, so like when you did tell me, for me, I was just like, this was an agenda. This is what they wanted all along.
It was an agenda because my doctor was going to watch the tennis.
Imagine.
And also, like, when you go in for a C-section, it's literally like 30 minutes and you're out. They're cleaning the room. The next person's in.
That's what they want.
I literally did not know that I was having contractions. The domestic worker said, because the night before I started feeling a bit of pain, but I was like, okay, whatever. It wasn't like hectic. You know, that's another thing. People always describe things as like, obviously based on their own experiences. Like, so you sit there expecting the worst and you're already going through the thing. Because I started having contractions the night before. And then in the morning, I was experiencing some pain, but I thought, okay, my water hasn't broken. They're not as like the it's not that they're not far apart. 7. Yeah, they're not like close to each other as well. And then like the timing wasn't the timing that I was told to expect by the doctor, or that I've seen in movies or people telling me to expect. So, but then the domestic worker was like, no, I think you should call your doctor because my sister's like this. Every time she gives birth, she doesn't feel like pain.
Not sis Flo outing her sister. She literally
saved me, man.
Every time.
She was like, yeah, my sister has 3 kids. Every single time she just be out here not feeling any pain and going to the hospital and then giving birth. Yeah. So I only started feeling like contractions when I was like probably 5 minutes away from the hospital.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And then that's when I was like, whoa, okay, this is sore. Then when the doctor, puts her hand up, you're like, whoa, it's the worst pain I've ever felt.
Yeah.
Like, it was the worst pain ever. Epidural, also not great. Can you guys hear that?
Oh, no, money. Girl.
Yep, my co-host said I'm here to say hi.
Yeah, no. If you need to breastfeed her here, it's okay.
Nah, she good.
Do you need to feed her?
No. She's
full.
Oh,
shame.
She's just a really, really bad. She fights sleep.
Oh, as usual. Banjalo, okay.
She's like, it's on site.
Aunt sleep Misha is coming. I'm gonna put you on my back.
She's good. She's with her dad.
The problem though is that she's gonna want that all the time. That's the problem.
Really. I have like those carriers.
They love they love it. Like my nephew for the longest time literally would come to my mom, even though he was big, like post a year old, and bring a towel and be like, here, do it. Imagine.
Do the thing.
And you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Anyway,
so yes, as I was saying, epidural. Oh my word! Like. Amazing, you feel no pain.
Yeah.
But being that out of it wasn't an enjoyable experience for me, especially because when the baby was born, she was put on oxygen.
Oh yeah.
And her legs were like, they looked like they weren't the same size. And it looked like there was severe bowing, right?
Yeah.
Bowing. So I could hear the doctor speaking to Luando about this and asking him questions like, are you guys on medical aid? If your baby your baby might need to be put in the NICU, who's going to pay for that? Like, I could hear all of this, but I'm out of it. And then in order for her to get off oxygen, they actually did skin to skin. And then she started breathing like fine. And then they put us into the ward, and then we were all good. We went home. We spent 2 nights in the hospital, and then we came home after that, and it's been good ever since, except for because my grand's out of town.
It's hard.
So we had that incident where we were giving her colic and iron drops, and she choked, and we got so scared. Like, we rushed to hospital because the internet was like, if the baby has saliva for a long period of time, or they turn blue, or like they had a list of things, and I felt like there were 1 or 2 things on that list, and we're like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And we rushed to the hospital, and everyone there was like, first time parents, hey, like this. And it's like, yeah, I don't care. Just like look at my baby and check if she's fine. Like check her lungs. Like just make sure this child is fine. But even though that moment was like so scary, because it was like, I love this person so much.
Yeah.
I cannot deal with any other reality besides them breathing.
Yeah.
Like even when the doctors were saying all of those things, like your baby might have brittle bones, all of this. She's been given a clean bill of health. I didn't care. We really didn't care. Or we're just like, we want a baby that is breathing, that is capable of experiencing joy, and that is capable of giving that feeling to others. That is all. Yeah. And like for the longest time, you'll be like, oh, I want a baby that's smart. I want a baby that's beautiful. Like that I don't know. Matter. As soon as I heard that heartbeat, at that first 6-week check, I was like, as long as this person can experience joy and bring that to others, we Gucci.
Exactly.
Like, we are cool.
Everything else
cool.
is
That's
fine.
all I want. I don't care about anything else.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know, man. Like as I was saying in the last episode, it was very interesting being pregnant. Especially because I isolated. I didn't tell like a lot of people that you would think I would tell, because I was just like,
understandably,
I don't feel like experiencing this with everyone. And then at the same time, as soon as that 13-week appointment happened, I was like, I don't need everyone being anxious with me.
Yes.
Right now. Like, I don't need everyone going through this. So we didn't tell a lot of people that we were expecting.
Yeah.
But then even the people that knew we were expecting, we didn't tell them about the challenges that we were experiencing.
I think you told me like I think you told me about the appointment, how you had to go back. But you didn't tell me about you told me only after that they were like, no, we haven't found. Actually, you told me when you had to go for that test where they finally confirmed that everything is fine.
Yes.
That like everything is okay, and which is good, child. Like, hey, some things
you didn't need that anxiety, girl. You didn't need that anxiety, because
some
also
things, some things, no. But also, I think there's also just that element of like, like for me, man, like besides the fact that like obviously you share this very scary thing with other people, and you kind of having to counsel other people
about the thing that you're going through. I didn't feel like that.
It's a scam.
I didn't feel like that. But also like it's a
scam.
Like things like pregnancy are also very layered in the sense that like sometimes you don't know the space that someone is in. And like babies, pregnancy, it's such a fragile state. That you genuinely don't want to share something with someone, Gandhi. You're triggering them, or so we were considering multiple things. It wasn't necessarily like, oh my gosh, we've done this thing and we want to keep it a secret. It was like something that we were extremely excited about, something that I not necessarily had wanted at the time, but had not wanted, and had all the resources and felt that we were ready for. And I mean, it also came at a time where my family was experiencing grief.
It made so much sense, man. It made so much sense. I was like, there goes replenishment. I was like, that's what she came here for. Fine. That's why she came at this time also.
Yes. And also it was just weird, man. It was just like, I don't want to be woo-woo about it, but I recall there was a client of ours, they are a client of ours that we had been working with, and they had reached out to you and asked for my number because they had a dream. The dream that they were speaking about was literally like narrating exactly how somebody else explained the pregnancy to me. And at the time, I literally was a few months pregnant, but obviously I couldn't say to her that, I'm actually, like, what you're telling me right now
is
makes
for real,
so much sense because of what I'm actually going through, because it was in the first 3 months, but so it was a very beautiful journey for me in terms of the space that I created for myself, and how I felt about the pregnancy. The only thing that made me anxious were those doctors, and constantly being worried about, is this baby breathing? Can they experience this joy that I want them to experience in this world? And will we be able to guide them in the way that we would like to? Those are like the worries, but for some weird reason I wasn't scared.
I'm
still shook that I wasn't scared. Even I wasn't scared about the thought of giving birth. I wasn't scared. It's just weird to me that there was no fear in that regard. But parenting, I'm also not scared for some reason. I don't know why.
You've got this. Honestly, because also, look, there's really only so much preparing that you can do.
Literally.
There really is only so much preparing that you can do. And I think for me, like, having like witnessed sort of your journey, and even like what I'm witnessing now, post birth, is like, because I'm the type of person, I'm very meticulous about like anything. I need I'm also very anxious, so I need the details. I need to I'll be scared about everything. So I was like, oh, okay, so like people can do this without the anxiety, like, because I think for me, I think this is the first time I'm trying to think of my friends, like my really like close group of friends, the people that I can think of. I mean, they gave birth when we were in varsity, so obviously it was a bit of a
it's a very different experience. Yes,
it's a very different experience. So like now that I'm at the age that I'm at right now, and I've generally just been thinking a lot around like children. Do I want them? Do I want the experience? That whole situation. I've kind of been thinking about that, and obviously I've been warming up like more and more to the idea. I think also because I've been witnessing you as well. I'm like, okay, like, I'm like,
the Zazbaz agenda is working.
It's so
She's
real.
Putting in the work.
Listen, girl, you need to wait for a bit. I said 35. I think I said, did I say 35 or did I say 32?
I used to say 35. I used to say 35.
Did I say 35? I think I said 32 or I said 35. When is 5 years time from now? When is 5 years from now?
32.
Oh, I said 32. Wow. Damn. So I think like I've just been thinking about it a lot, and like it's just so mind blowing to me. Like to me, I just think it's so mind blowing, man. Like
it's been very weird because my experience has also been very unique to me. Especially because firstly, people in my family don't get married.
Yeah,
right? I think I've said this multiple times.
I can relate.
So everyone that's had a baby before, and also I don't come from like an extremely privileged family. A lot of people seem to think I do, but I don't. The majority of
you silly fucks.
No insult. Sorry, the majority of my family is not privileged, right? So when somebody falls pregnant, most cases that I've witnessed, it wasn't received the same way that my journey was received. Like telling my I know my granny. My uncle was even married. My granny is those people, and she really needs to unlearn it. It's like old people in our families that get upset when people are having babies. Like she's literally that person, but she wasn't upset when I told her I was having a baby, because she'd been begging me to have a baby for the longest time, which is weird as well.
Because why are you
literally
upset?
get upset? Like you get upset. And I always look at it like, why are you upset? Like, old people are very weird. But anyway, she's one of those people that, because I guess it's that thing of this is going to be my problem in some way or the other. Yeah. So she has that approach. So for me, I didn't have, because luckily myself and Lwanda are working. Like that's not always the dynamic, and that's a big privilege. Like to be employed, to be able to look after yourself, to not be reliant on anyone in your family, to even be able to help people out in your family. That kind of setup, it's not the norm. So our experience was very different, and I think finances have a lot to do with that to a certain degree, but also I'm like the first grandchild. So I think maybe my granny is a bit softer.
I think
she'd also experienced a loss,
and also she, there was the loss.
Her son just died.
Yeah, so I mean, and considering just how much, like how sad she was during that time.
Yes,
was, that and the car. That was like shame, like that brought her like really great joy. Like it was like and I was like, what, it is what, and it's her first. It's that's her great grandchild.
Yeah, it's her first great grandchild. Yeah, because her last grandchild is literally like a year older than my baby. That's wild.
Imagine,
like my little cousin.
Imagine what I'm like
27 years younger than me.
I'm thinking like my great grandma. I mean, she passed away when I was in primary, and she was like she was in the late 90s, if not like early hundreds, like in terms of age. So it's just like, what the hell? Like, what do you mean, great grandchild? But I mean, I think it's like witnessing just the whole thing has just been like wild for me. I was watching this vlog on YouTube. Her name's Megan Moon. She used to be before she got married, she was Megan Bowen. So she's an American woman. I think she's a biracial woman. And she moved to Korea like 9 or 10 years ago, literally 9 or 10 years ago. And she was like, I'm going to go teach and just, like learn the language and learn the culture and all of that. And, she was just going through life, and I didn't really know much of her then. And then I think only a couple of years in, then I started like knowing about her, and I started like watching her stuff just to see like, who doesn't want to watch someone what is it? Who doesn't want to watch someone traveling and, experiencing the world and whatnot? Like, if I can't do it, let me watch someone else.
Let me live through you.
Okay, period. So, she ended up getting married to this guy, Mr. Moon. And, this guy's like super quiet, but he's like he's very loving. Like, he's always like kissing her and all these things, like biting her and just like taking care of her. And even her family, like his family, they're very like loving towards her. And, and then she had like, so she didn't have eggs, because she went through menopause early. She went through early menopause. So her sister came through to Korea from America, and she did the whole egg thingy, and she donated the egg. Yeah.
Oh damn.
And so then they did the whole embryo thing, and then they implanted, and then she fell pregnant with twins.
Wow.
Yeah, like I was just like, holy shit.
I feel like twins. If you have twins, I'd be done.
No, that's what I want. I'm like, 2 of them, it's not gonna be easy, but fine, 2 of them
at
let's
the
go.
same time. That would have been great.
Let's go.
Okay, I'm struggling with one, but I still feel like twins would be great.
Yeah. And so I think I was watching one of her vlogs, I think last night, and her baby was like waking up, like the one baby. They decided to sleep in separate rooms, her and her husband, with one child each, because they were when one cries, they wake up the other, and then it's not nice. So, and like she's just waking up, and she just starts smiling at her, like this baby just like smiling at her, and you're like, what the hell? Like this person wakes up and they look at you and they just smile at you. Like I just had that thought in my head. I was like, holy wow. Like I feel like I would go into the bush and weep all the time
when they start smiling. And you realize that, okay, it's not wind, it's like this person is making the decision to smile at me.
Yeah, that's wild.
And also when they start reacting to a certain tone, you change your tone when you speak to a baby and you want them to smile and all that. When they start reacting to that, you're like, oh my word. Our baby has started smiling, and it melts my heart every time.
Listen, I don't think she starts so quickly.
Smiling and laughing.
I'm shocked.
But she doesn't laugh that much.
Yeah. No.
But she has a dimple, like it comes out when she laughs.
Oh, she's
so
got the
cute.
cutest little. You know what? Let me. I'm calling her out again. I discovered that dimple when that baby was a couple days old. I was like,
I thought you were seeing with your auntie eyes. Like, I feel like we've discussed this. I even had this chat with Nikki, my sister. We were saying, look, my baby is so cute.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. I was like, what if we are seeing her
from a
through the eyes of love?
Exactly, yeah.
But I was like, no, like all babies are cute. Like, I think it's just scientific. I remember someone saying it's like a scientific thing where babies are cute for survival.
Yes, yeah.
Like,
personally, I don't believe in ugly children. I think
there's
that's
no
weird.
such thing.
If you're a grown-up who goes around saying that children are ugly, you're
That's
weird.
very mean.
You are ugly. You are ugly.
Misha.
Actually, in fact, it's you. It's not other people. But yeah, it's been so like it's been wild, like just watching that through you. Because now even I was listening to Beyonce's The Gift, and I've always, you know, I mean, I always knew it was like a sort of, it always touched me, like just the lyrics and how she speaks.
Find your way back.
Yeah.
Bigger.
Listen, like, and it's always touched me because it's like, you know, imagine like saying this to your child, like that's wild. But I was like, the other day I was like, I don't know, maybe I was just like, I was maybe I don't know, maybe I'm going through something. But I was like, this is a sonic sort of, I don't want to say sonic visualization, I don't think that's the right word, but let's say that it is.
You can use words however you want.
It is a sonic depiction of love for a child. I was like, oh my God, like this is what love for a child sounds like.
Pure?
Yeah.
Is there anything more pure?
I was like, this is what it sounds like. I was like, oh my God. Like, and listening to Cleo as well, Cleo Soul.
Yes.
Mother.
The one, what's the song?
Sunshine.
The one that
or is it We
Thank
Need
You for sending me an angel straight from heaven.
Is it not We Need You?
We Need You is as a separate song. That song is beautiful.
Listen,
but like We Need You, I feel like you are begging a parent to stay.
Hey yo,
I'll
is
tell
it?
you the name of the song. I'll tell you, Heart Full of Love, I think.
Oh yeah,
Heart Full of Love. That's an amazing song.
Oh no, like I've been listening to these and I'm just like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Like,
but it's actually, I know you have a very close relationship with your nieces and your nephews.
Yeah.
Much similar to the relationship that I have with my little cousins, and I thought like people always put relationships on a pedestal.
Yeah.
And you always try like demystify certain things and be like, I'm never gonna be like that.
Yeah.
And you have a child and the love for them feels so familiar.
Yeah.
Like it feels heightened because you are responsible, directly responsible. And with the other kids, it's not like, okay, every single thing in their lives depends on me. But it feels so familiar. And I think it's that love for a child that you're speaking about. It's like if you love children, there will be no difference in how you love your own versus all the other children in your life.
Yeah.
Like I unless something hasn't clicked in me yet, but the love I have for my child feels so familiar.
Yeah. No,
like,
no,
it's
I
just
feel
like,
you. I feel you. Like, I think also it's definitely made me sort of pour more into my sort of nieces and nephews, because I'm like, damn, like, you know, this is I thought it was you know, you think we're family, like, of course, you know, of course I love you or whatever, but like you really think about it and you're like, damn, you know, like these are my little people too. So, you know, why not? But yeah, like it's been really like interesting watching. I think for me, in any case, like in the midst of all of this just rubbish that's going on, sometimes it's rubbish, sometimes it's good. I never know how to describe it. Good, bad, depending on the day. And there's some days
it's happening.
It's the same thing, you know. It's happening.
I think you should call it the happening.
It is
the happening,
and it's happening. Oh, guys, it's happening. There's also like, I think I'm realizing more and more and more that like all the things that have been happening for a reason. I don't know if I'm being
woo.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm deep in my woo phase.
Let's say I'm like, yo, I'm
I know
in
this is
my
new hood I moved to, but
listen,
I'm deep in my woo phase.
Deep in my woo phase, deep in my God phase, deep in my like self-help phase. It's just like it everything is
deep
making
in my
sense
toxic
at the
positivity
moment.
phase.
We out here. We really out here. But it's just been so like I think as much as I love to complain personally. Me,
Same.
I will complain.
That thing slaps.
That thing bangs. Like I will complain, because I know myself. I know like when I don't, it doesn't feel good. I feel like I'm suppressing. It's a whole bunch of stuff. I think I'm increasingly starting to understand the purpose of this whole period of my life. Obviously, like I can't say I have depression for a reason, or I have generalized anxiety disorder for a reason. I'm not saying that. I'm saying
it's part of the happening.
It's part of the happening. It's part of the happening. I mean, I was even telling the psychologist, like, I understand why it happened the way it happened, and why and when it happened. Like I actually understand it, and it really was all so I could be here at
in this
place form. In this form where it
might be fair or unfair,
but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And it really, like, on most days I'm like, oh my god, this is so unfair. Like, I'm like, this is so unfair. What, like, can't I just, why am I sort of
going through this?
Like, why do I have to deal with this? Like, is it really necessary? Like, just tell me. Damn, like, you don't gotta, why you gotta do all that? And so it's been really, like, it's been a very weird time, and like, because at the same time, I'm being held in a way that's like, that is unreal, like, I can't say, and as much as I say, like, this whole process is incredibly lonely, it is lonely. Like, guys, academics are
obviously, because
lonely.
you're the only one that's fully experiencing it. It's like, even because there's other parts that the people cannot get to
at all.
It's like having an itch in your ear, and like you can get to certain parts, but there are parts where the itch is still there, but people can't get to.
Exactly.
And that's what loneliness is.
That's exactly what loneliness is. And like, I've been so like, just like feeling incredibly lonely, and like just like, and as a result, like, when I get lonely, I feel needy. But then what I do is then I isolate instead, because
and
I'm just like,
heightened.
Yeah, and the feeling's heightened. And yesterday I had to literally just say, like, listen, I am struggling, I'm feeling lonely, I am, as a result, I'm feeling needy, so I don't know what to do with all of this. I'm incredibly sensitive at the moment. Like, I'm like, everything,
I'm vulnerable.
Everything makes me cry. I will cry about anything. You can make a small joke. I think earlier this person made a joke about, because I had left my charger, and it was a joke. It really was a joke, and I wanted to cry because
so why the fuck would you say that?
I was like, why would you say that? Like, why would you make a joke about this? Like, I'm on this like road trip. Like, if my phone dies, like, that's the end of the road trip. I have to go back home. But so it's all just been very weird, because like, I'm being held in just the most spectacular way. Like, people have been really loving, people have been really like awesome, very supportive. Yes, I mean, I complain about people and their anxieties and whatnot, but it's been very interesting. What's also been very interesting is the fact that my parents don't know. I know I'm saying this on a podcast that's gonna be very public, and eventually my parents.
This is the real test.
It is what it is.
Listen?
Do they listen? Exactly.
This is the ultimate test.
I mean, I actually am planning
I
on
hope
on
not.
and on listen, I really hope not, because oh my god, I do plan on telling them, like, very soon. But I think one of the reasons why I felt like I couldn't tell them was for the same reason why I was frustrated with everybody, and sort of the panic and the anxiety that they ended up feeling. Like, of course, they're parents, they're gonna feel panic, they're gonna be anxious, they're gonna be like, oh my god, how are you taking care of yourself, how are you gonna do this, like they're gonna ask you all these questions. And I'm just like, at this point of my life, I don't want to answer those questions. I don't even answer those questions to my friends, or just in general.
I feel like
when people
no
ask
friend
me,
should be asking you that, except for like, how can I support you right now?
You get it. Like,
hey, don't be asking me.
Ask me why.
Just ask how you can help me, or keep your mouth shut.
Exactly, Shanice,
your
please,
mouth.
your mouth is moving. For me, like, I think also it's like, the way people have responded, and I really don't, like, I'm not saying you guys are terrible or anything like that. I've just been paying attention to just how people have been responding. And I'm like, when I have to explain why to you, I then once again have to relive the fact that I am incapable of doing something that I'm supposed to be capable of doing, and that is not a nice feeling. Because it's something I'm coming to terms with,
I think also another thing is, considering the current climate that we're in.
Yeah.
Some people believe that once you have something, you can't let go of it.
You can't let go of it.
And they don't understand that, like, you're the one that has it. So you're the one that knows what that experience of having it is, as you.
Exactly.
Like, having a job, having a car, having a house, as you, is a very different experience to me having all of those things.
Precisely.
And like how I experience those things is very different to how you experience them. And the reason why you got those things is very different to why I got them. Exactly. And the reason why you will let go of those things
is very different. Yeah.
It's very different to how I would let go. So a lot of people might view certain things as a failure even.
Yeah.
Whereas to you, it might be a liberating experience, because you're moving into something else.
Exactly.
And you have to let go of certain things.
Yeah.
So, Shanice,
your mouth is
don't move your mouth like a rat.
No, like, you're actually right. Like, I think part of me also, like, the one of the things that is sending me is that probably people do think it's a failure of sorts. Like, and I then have to. And I think that's also why I just sort of procrastinated when it came to telling my folks, or just my family in general, because to them it would seem like a failure, because it's like, oh, but you're
They're
almost 28.
Register it in that way.
You already have a house. You bought a place. You've got a car. You're about to finish paying it off. Your life is supposed to move in a certain way. And I'm like, I don't know, guys. Like, there is
doesn't have to move.
It doesn't have to move in a certain way. I'm like, I understand why you would think so, because obviously they grew up thinking that's
those are
the
markers.
thing.
Those are the markers. And sometimes we get those things because we think that this is the natural progression. Like, okay, I've got a job, I need to buy this, these are the signifiers of the fact that I'm a fully productive member of society. I'm useful, and I think we've had multiple chats about reconsidering or reframing what being useful within our society is, outside of material gains, outside of contributing to capitalism, being a part of the chain, but also being able to lead fulfilling lives where we are useful to our families and all of that. And that I still don't have the answer to that. Like that.
No, like, and it's funny that you say that, because that's exactly where I'm at, where I'm like, for so long this was how I had valued myself, and which is why I had said to my I don't like saying the psychologist, I was like, I understand why the breakdown that I had happened when it happened, because then I had to really go, oh, okay, my productivity actually doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. It actually means nothing. All of this means nothing if I'm not okay, and I mean, I was speaking to my mom yesterday, and I was telling her, like, it's a lot of pressure, it's really hard, and she's like, you must take it easy on yourself, and I'm like, yeah, that's true, and I was telling her, because I was speaking to a friend on Sunday, I was having brunch with a friend, she actually almost had a stroke. She's my age, by the way. She almost had a stroke because just like work stress and life and just all other stuff that you're doing, and you don't know that you are leading yourself into this
you think
place.
You think it's normal for you to feel like that. It's like how it's as simple as looking at gut health, like how we spend so much of our lives in discomfort, like our stomachs and our guts and everything, and the moment you like get on probiotics,
or you eat yogurt every day.
Leave the dairy. I'm even leaving the dairy, like leave the dairy, leave the sugar, get on your probiotics, and then your system starts working properly, your mind clears up, and you're like, oh my word, this is what a proper functional body feels like. Like I don't need to exist with the discomfort. And it's like when it comes to working, and all of that, it's like you have to constantly coexist with discomfort. And it's like the discomfort is a norm.
Exactly.
It's like I don't think that's how we're supposed to live.
No, not at all. Like it's and I think that's also probably one of the reasons why I've been guys, I've been struggling. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I've been struggling far more than I would have anticipated. Because I'm definitely in like 100 minds, more like 2 minds, but I'll say 100 because I don't want to make it like a polarizing thing, like it's either this or that, because it's so many things at the same time, where I'm so happy that I did this, right? Like I'm so happy that I did this because, for one, it just shows that when I say I want to do something, I do it. And I can do it. And this was something that the psychologist was actually telling me. She was like, look, I think I need you to look at yourself a little bit differently, right? Like, you said you wanted to do this last year,
and you did
July, and you did it. You said you wanted to move to Cape Town. Look where you're at right now. And you made sure, despite everything, you made sure. You said you wanted to do this thing, you made sure, so there's that part of me where I'm like, I feel so brave. I feel like, I've done, this is exactly, in fact, it is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. It's
exactly what I wanted.
It's exactly what I wanted, right? And for me, it also feels like it's exactly how it was willed to be, where it was just like, because in a lot of, with a lot of these decisions that I made, like, yes, I made them consciously, but it was also like so many things had to happen for me to say, okay, this is the decision I need to make, or this is the path I need to take, so there's that part of me that's like, oh my God, yes, like, I'm so happy I did this, like, oh my God, I like the fact that I wake up and I think about this thing only, I think about, freaking, I don't know, literature reviews, even though it's killing me right now. I think about all these things. I get to wake up and that's all that's on my mind. And just obviously my day to day and, all of that. And the fact that I can sort of, I think someone was asking me like, oh my God, like, you're always like out and about. Like, shouldn't you be like working? I'm like, dude, that's all I did for how many years?
A long time, close to 10 years.
Yeah, so literally.
Is that fair, Shanice?
Shanice. I'm gonna call you guys Shanice. Every time I say Shanice, your mouth. So guys, people have been very strange. Like,
people can
I'll
say
get back
things.
into that.
People have words.
I'll get back to that. But yeah, basically, I feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. But then out of nowhere, then like I'm also feeling like, yo, like maybe this is a failure, guys. Like maybe like this is not where I'm you know, like what if like my life is down the drain? Like, oh my God, I don't have a job yet. You know, it's in the works. Thank God. You know, but also, you know, you can't help but be anxious. You like watching your bank account and something. Oh my God, like holy shit, you know, like I'm fine, like I've paid my rent in advance, like I don't have to think about stuff like that. Thank God, you know, that I
you are in that position. This is why I'm like toxic positivity. You gotta be like, at least I am privileged enough to be able to do A, B, C, and D.
When I told people, like, I was like, oh, I sold my place, they're like, why would you do that? I'm like, guys,
calm down,
Shanice. Like,
obviously, I'm the one that's doing it. I've thought about it so many times. Like, you are hearing this thing this thing always gets to me. You tell someone something, they are hearing it for the first time. By the time you tell them the thing, it has existed in your world for way longer than it has existed in theirs. And already they're like, have you, why? Have you,
literally that. I think that was like the worst thing about just
am I a fool
everything
that cannot think?
Like I think that's been the worst thing about everything that's sort of been happening, because I'm like, oh my God, the people in my life probably don't know me as much as they think they do, or as much as they say they do. Because I'm like, if you know me, you know I'm not impulsive. I don't have an impulse. My brain will not allow me. I can't. You know, I even if I do something on the spot, I've thought about it. Like, even if it's just a little bit.
But also I find that it's like, it's the people that you've never come to and be like, I need advice with this.
Exactly. So
that will be out there throwing it out. And it's like, at no point have I ever come to you and asked you,
like, guys,
for your opinion. So why now?
I know it. I knew exactly what I was getting myself into, and even when I was not having a good time, I knew that was gonna happen, and I was not gonna have a good time there. Like, just because
also,
I knew,
even if you didn't know,
wasn't.
Even if you didn't anticipate,
even if I didn't, it's fine.
There's no need for someone to be there. I told you so. You know, yada yada yada.
So hey, I think that has definitely been like, besides just like me having to fight my own brain. And just like, you know, having to try and actively not work against myself. I think it's definitely been people, and it's a very strange thing, because I think for the longest time I've never really, like, I can't say, I wouldn't say I'm a people pleaser, right? Like, I think I can say that about my family, that I definitely did a lot of things to please them, but when it came to other people, I can't say that, you know, I've cared much.
Mattered that much,
yeah. And then, you know, I make these decisions, you know, and I share it with people, and people are asking me the strangest things.
But I guess
why are you asking me why I would move?
It's disappointing to, and I had an experience like this very recently. It's disappointing when you find out how someone really perceives you.
Yeah.
Because when you ask me certain questions, you're telling me what you really think of me. And it's like, you actually think I don't think.
Oh, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's that disappointment of,
right.
Oh, Gandhi, this is
how you
actually how you...
No, I feel... No, you know what? You are actually very fucking right. Like, it's exactly that. Because to me, it's just like, do you not think I thought about the fact that I need to pay my rent? Like, hello. And that, you know, I need to pay for my whatever. Like, of course,
like, it's my rent. I know.
But also, like... It's just like very weird, archaic thinking that people have also just been showing me. Like, how can you ask me, why would you sell your place and move to a different city and quit your job? Guys, I don't have a dog. I don't have a cat. I don't have a mouse. I don't have a child. I don't have a nothing. I literally don't have dependents. Yes, there are things that I do for my family and whatnot, and I can maintain those things. But you don't have to. But I don't have to. I don't have dependents, guys. Like, I'm my dependent, you know, and that...
She ain't me.
Listen,
I got 2. Damn.
Like I am my own dependent. Why wouldn't I up and leave? Like it's
I feel like those, even if you had things, I feel like sometimes things give you the freedom to want to do things more.
Yeah.
Like, even if you had those things and made this decision, it wouldn't make you less of a thinker. It wouldn't make you less rational.
Yeah.
When life is pushing you in a certain direction, and you would actually like to be pushed in that way, there's nothing wrong with making the push softer.
Man,
absolutely nothing wrong.
And life was genuinely, life has genuinely been pushing me to this point. Like, up until whatever, you know, the good thing is that besides me
is
finishing
coming.
this thing, but whatever that is coming, and it's coming, my goodness, it's coming. It's gonna be something else. You know, I feel like I've been pushed to that, and I'm leaning into that, and I think that's amazing. It's something I wouldn't typically do, like, because I would overthink it and just, you know, and I guess maybe that's why, like, then I ended up having a breakdown, and then it was like a whole thing, and then it was, you know, maybe that's why it had to happen that way. But it's just been so
because that's
weird.
the only thing you would listen to, maybe.
Yeah,
like,
it's just been so weird, man.
We don't listen to the soft discomforts because we're so used to discomfort.
We are so
and then
used
now we
to
have to be like
it.
hit with the brick on
Ayo.
the back of the neck for us to be like, oh, okay,
Hey, and that
yeah,
brick,
I'll do it.
Sana, and that brick, it boxed me. It boxed me.
Yeah.
But you know, yeah, like besides Abosha niece and them, and I really do think, like, I don't ever want to say that, and it's not because I'm being naive or whatever. Like, I don't ever want to say that, like, maybe, you know, people had like weird intentions and whatnot. Like, I can understand feeling worried and whatnot. I think it's misplaced, but I can understand, you know, feeling like, oh my God, like, are you sure? Like, are you, you know, whatever. It's not a nice question to ask me. I you know, like, it got to a point where people were asking me like, why are you moving? I'm like, because I can. Or I'd say like, why not? You know, and someone was like, but isn't that a bit like, you know? And I'm like,
Let's put some of our whys in our pockets, guys.
Please. I'm like, it's not an abrasive thing to say. I'm like, it's not abrasive. It is genuinely the thing. Like, Kanti, what is life about, guys? Like, am I supposed to, when I've now settled in Joburg, I must stay in Joburg, I must live, die, everything in Joburg? You want me to, every time you want to see me at Sunday roast or at Sunset Sunday, or sometimes I want to go to Camp Bay.
Joburg, you literally can only exist in so few places. I'm up to here. I'm done.
I could not do that anymore, guys. I could not.
I'm manifesting a move as well.
It's coming,
I have
girl.
been for some time.
I'm recruiting now. I'm recruiting as many people as guys come, please. Because for me, it was also just that. Like, it felt limiting. I felt limited. You know, there wasn't much else to do, and people are like, "Oh, there's a lot to do in like Joburg."
No,
like,
there isn't. There's a lot of groove. That's all.
Shut the fuck up, dude. There isn't. There isn't.
We need to reframe our entire life, like, in terms of our fulfilling our social needs, because there's a child, and it's like, what are we gonna do? It's gonna be summer soon. We have no idea where we're gonna start.
Yeah, like taking walks and stuff. Whereas if you're here, like,
you
don't have to worry. Like,
so
literally, you can take a walk every day with the dog and the baby. You know, but also, yeah, like, literally, it's just like, it was limiting. There wasn't much to do in Johannesburg. If you feel like there's stuff to do in Johannesburg, God bless you.
You're on coke as well.
Exactly.
And no drug shaming.
No judging you, but, you know, God bless you wherever you are. I just did not feel that. And I just, you know, I felt limited. I was just like, I need something different. I also just wanted to be like, if you want to touch a leaf, you must drive. Hey, I don't even know how far, or even that Emerentia Dam that you go to, as in, you just there, it's cute or whatever, but it's also just it's you know,
Joburg.
It's Joburg at the end of the day. And I'm like, the last thing I want to have to do is work, and then over the weekend is groove. And it's like, no, but you should be, but there are other things to do. I don't have the fucking energy.
With who?
As well.
But also with who? With who?
With who?
Everybody else wants to go to groove.
Exactly.
So
With who? For one.
Like, how am I fulfilling my social needs?
Exactly.
But anyway,
I'm also just like, I just don't have the energy. I don't have the energy. Like, the only things that I perhaps maybe have the energy to do is work and then go and drink alcohol. That's all I had the energy for. That's it.
True. Ooh.
And who wants to live like that, child? Child, what is it?
We've been recording for some time, and our next few episodes will be way more structured. We were just catching up.
We're just catching up.
Our co-host is also giving her dad.
Oh, is she cutting up?
Time. Yeah, she's cutting up. She's cutting up real bad.
Let's go.
So we're gonna close this.
Yes, we're gonna close
this. But we'll be back. With more structured episodes. We just thought we should give you guys a part 1, part 2, just a refresher of what's been happening over the last 3-4 months.
And I just wanted to rant. Because Instagram was boring. So I like whenever I swear at you guys on Instagram, you guys get like all weird, and I'm just like, oh, whatever.
You should just need to swear at people.
That's all.
Go back to Twitter.
Literally.
Go back
I'm
to
also
Twitter.
just like, that's why I'm
that's
gonna
the
swear.
one place where people swear at people all the time.
I'm gonna swear at y'all even more, but I'm also just like, I'm in my ascending girl phase. Like, I have to like remember, like when I do wanna swear at niggas, I'm like, am I swearing at niggas because I want to? Or am I swearing at
or
niggas
am I in pain?
Am I in pain or am I projecting? Like, I have to stop myself.
I think you're level hung. You're in pain, my baby. You're level hung.
I'm in pain, Saul. So it's just, So yeah, guys, we're definitely gonna be back. We're back. We're back.
We're back for sure. I'm on maternity leave until the end of the year, so
Literally.
we're back.
And also, I don't know when I'm gonna go back to work.
As long as my little boss says I can, and she says time's up.
Yeah, she says time's up. Oh no, I can hear her. No, girl.
Exactly.
So yeah, guys. How are you guys doing? We hope you're doing
what's
well.
Happening?
What's happening?
What is happening in your life?
What's happening in y'all's lives. All that good stuff. Thank you guys so much. Like, comment, subscribe. We need to be quick about this. Bye.